All right, it seems like fake meat is all the rage these days.
Yeah, fast food chains are even jumping on the faux meat wagon. There's Beyond, sausage, Beyond this.
Impossible.
Registered
Impossible.
Dietitian Dana White is telling us how healthy these products really are. Yeah, because I think everybody's going towards them because they're trying to get away from meat and they think this is a healthier option. Is it?
So it kind of depends. I mean, it's a super big trend right now. And I think we've made such a hard turn from like your traditional veggie burger.
Right.
But I don't know if people really understand the ingredients that they're getting.
Okay.
So I think it can be, I mean, if you're trying to avoid meat, it's meatless.
Right.
Okay.
So
it is plant-based. If that is your goal, it is plant-based. But I think there's a couple other things to consider.
Okay.
So here's like your garden variety, old school veggie burger. Right. I really like this brand. It's got some simple ingredients in it. You can see the vegetables in there.
Yeah.
But it's pretty low in protein because there's not a big protein source in there. It's basically made from vegetables and there's some oats in there and that's what you get, right? So that's what we used to do for these burgers.
And they're, good little quick meals, but sometimes you're hungry later because they weren't a lot of protein.
They're not super satisfying. I think they taste pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot. So, and it's, I'll make this for lunch, periodically and stuff like that.
Scott,
but we're talking about like 130 calories a serving.
Put it there for you because
we'll trade for
we're not sharing with you.
But look, there's like chunks of broccoli in there. I actually put it in my air fryer to cook it. I think it gets a little crispy that way.
Oh yeah, Dr. Prager's. I love all of his stuff.
I like that brand a lot. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, but very simple, right?
And it's a good little. I feel like sometimes it's a good little snack. Like they can be done in 2 minutes, and you can have it.
Very simple. My kids like I said, I throw them in the air fryer, and they're delicious.
Yeah. That's really good.
Now we get, so these are just two very popular brands right now. So we have Trader Joe's and we have Beyond, okay?
Yep.
And they have very similar ingredient lists, but all of a sudden we're talking 20 grams of protein, double the calories, which is still, only around about 300. So that's not a big deal. The sodium is pretty under control. They have about, maybe 400 milligrams of sodium per serving. That's not bad. But you're basically eating pea protein here in both of these cases. Okay, so it's basically like a pea protein powder.
Pea as in the vegetable?
As in the vegetable.
And that's a big trend. A lot of people are doing pea protein.
Correct.
Is that really good for you? Does it work as well as whey?
So it does have the same amino acid profile. Well, whey is not plant-based, right? So if you're going to go plant-based, then you're going to use a pea protein instead. Okay. But what I think people don't realize is that these are pretty highly processed things. Okay, so you get the pea protein in there. There's something called methyl cellulose, which is like a thickener that they need to get something plant-based to walk and talk like meat. You're going to have to put some fillers and some things in there as well. Beyond and some of the other burgers, they wanted to bleed like meat, which I don't really fully understand. But they put some beet juice and things like that in there to get you that kind of color. So, and listen, I think it's
But beet juice is natural. You're saying, but some of the stuff in here is like, if you're trying to avoid processed food, sometimes these are more processed than just having.
Correct. Yeah, no, they definitely, listen, they're a processed food. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, not all processed foods are bad for you, but I think what you should really do is turn around the ingredients, look at the ingredient list, and get a sense of what you're really getting, right? So there are going to be thickeners and some stabilizers in there to get these types of things to kind of walk and talk like meat.
Let me ask you a question. If you weren't a vegetarian and you could have a choice between meat and these, which would you go with?
I eat meat. I'm an omnivore, right? So I think, so what they'll do with some of them, like the Impossible Burger, for example, which I don't have here today, they actually add like a bunch of supplements and other ingredients to it to make it nutritionally similar than what you would get in the one ingredient from beef. You know what I mean? Like there's naturally existing iron and other nutrients and minerals just there, but then they're adding those things to this more, again, that's what makes it more processed.
It's a great option if you're trying to be vegan or plant-based.
Totally.
But if you are just trying to eat cleaner or lose weight, sometimes just regular, like a leaner beef would be healthier than all the fillers.
That in my opinion, yes, I think so. And listen, I support people. I work with tons of clients that follow vegan and plant-based style diets. And I think there's some benefits to that. But I just think you need to know what you're eating. Okay.
Right, you try that one, I'll try this one.
Yeah, and this is the one that probably looks the most like a burger.
Yeah, this totally looks like a burger.
And it has that texture to it.
This Trader Joe's one is good. I would totally eat it, yeah.
And listen, we talked about they're highly perishables. You got to bring them home. You got to cook them, right? They don't last forever. You can freeze them. So I definitely think that there's some pros and cons. But see, it looks like it's got that texture to it.
You like it?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. So, there you go. Good options, but just know that what's really in them.
Yeah, check the ingredient list and realize that you are getting a more processed food. Again, not all processed foods are bad, but I think we should know what we're eating. So we check the labels and we make sure that we have a good understanding. Okay.
All right, you're going to find healthy eating tips and great recipes on Dana's website, DanaWhiteNutrition.com.